This is the Erin Marie Podcast, where the pussified mentality gets thrown in the dumpster fire where it belongs, and mediocrity gets We're talking total annihilation. She doesn't sugarcoat for the Care Bear motherfuckers who bang their victim drum, or anyone doing the backstroke in the cesspool they call life. This show is about getting off your ass and handling your because the fate of the next generation depends on you becoming mentally unfuckwithable. Let's rock it, you unapologetic Americans. This is the Erin Marie Podcast, and here she is.
Community, what's good? I'm your host, Erin Marie, and this is the show where I teach you how to master your attention with real-world applications so you can build a brain that bends in your favor, which means we're not on a mission, we're in a fight. A fight to rewire America's mental backbone by arming each and every one of you with the neurodominance and indomitable will to reject mediocrity, which means I'm about to call you out on your shit in a way that punches you in the throat and wakes you the fuck up. So expect it to hurt, because growth does. This episode is for the mentally unfuckwithable people walking the planet. And hey, if you're not there yet, that's okay. I'm going to teach you how to build it, earn it, become who you were meant to become, because at the core of this podcast is one relentless truth. You don't need a miracle. You need to learn how to build a brain that bends in your favor. So let me ask you something. You ever hit a point in your life where you look around and you think, fuck, I am the problem? I did. That was me. Maybe that's you. Maybe that's why you're here. And that was the genesis of this podcast episode. Now, quick tangent about this podcast. I get a lot of comments on my social media posts, DMs from people who follow me, text messages from those who are on the list, and they want to know why I take the kind of polarizing position that I take with my social media content and why I speak with the vernacular or the tone that I do, which they tend to describe as, demeaning, harsh, insensitive, cruel, too aggressive, too raw, too real. Basically, they describe me as the claw end of a hammer, but I like to really think of myself more like a full frontal assault. I see your online drive-bys in the comments section. Let me just take a moment to address this. Your brain needs friction, mental friction to be specific, for the rewiring to even begin. And this doesn't happen in your rose-scented bubble bath conditions. It happens under pressure, when the challenge exceeds your current capability and forces your system to adapt. So yeah, I speak the way I do on purpose. And that doesn't include any of the Care Bear motherfucker talk like it's okay not to be okay while your entire life is burning to the ground. Life doesn't kick you in the teeth and then apologize, and I'm not going to either. I'm here to hand you a set of tactical instructions and the psychological smackdown to rattle your nervous system awake so you can build a brain that bends in your favor and become somebody you can be proud of. So, does my love for you come with the F word? Fuck yeah, it does. You want more Care Bear motherfucker talk and wishboards? Then go find some hole in the corner of the internet that people will clap for your mental collapse, and you can go read about and listen to and digest the victim mentality over candles if you want to. But that is not what you're going to find here, and that is by design. I'm not here to whisper negative nothings into your trauma. I'm here to help you dismantle it at the molecular and cellular level. And because of that, I won't stop working to ensure that you and other people like you who really, truly want to build more structure around their goals and build a journey of overcoming and build a brain that bends in your favor, whatever that looks like for you, that you know the hard truth about what it's going to take to do just that. So stick with me. You might just learn something new. Now, today, there's been something on my mind I want to share with you, something I want to teach you. And if you take it seriously, it might just be the shift you've needed for years. Back in, 2016, I posted a picture of myself holding my certificate of completion from the executive coaching program I went through out of Sarasota, Florida. Yes, thank you very much. It was a good moment for me, almost a solid year of training and late nights and early mornings and jam-packed schedules and no sleep, and I was really proud of myself. But then, boom, shakalaka-laka, DMs roll in. There's this girl that I went to high school with. It's always fucking high school. Throwing some shade. Basically telling me she didn't believe I was going to make it. That building an entire business model around the idea of coaching the top 1% of people walking the planet was a pipe dream. And proceeded to explain why I was delusional and would likely fail. And I was like, she has no fucking clue what it's like when you have the no quit, no defeat, no retreat mentality of running over every obstacle that stands in your way like a fucking freight train. She didn't understand that my commitment wasn't emotional. It was neurobiological. Because when you lock the fuck in, when you start stacking wins consistently, your brain starts to wire around progress, not praise. And you build a brain that bends in your favor based on evidence, not wish boards. And then you fast forward 9 years later. My social media posts look a little different now, don't they, for those of you who internet stalk me? I'm guest featured on top-rated podcasts, published inside peer-reviewed journals. I teach neurosurgeons and NFL performance athletes and our United States Special Operations Forces how to master their attention. And they call me their human performance coach. My newsletter hits the inbox of hundreds of thousands of people worldwide. My DMs are flooded on the daily, and I don't run a single ad. I talk openly about my journey of entrepreneurship, failures, motherhood, sexual trauma, and a shit ton of bad decisions that I've made along the way. And I do this in front of the world, hundreds of thousands of people to see and hear, so they know that they're not alone. And people click the follow button. And a few years ago, guess who showed up again in my DMs? Same girl, different tone. This time, it was all praise, all accolades, all applause for my courage and bravery. So why now? Why not when I started? Because most people won't believe in you until it becomes inconvenient not to. And that's what I want you to understand from this story. Everybody listening right now, all of you guys who are chasing a bigger life than average needs to get this through their fucking skull. Every single one of you has what I like to call the prior people in your life. These are people who knew the unpolished, unsure, not yet battle-tested version of you. Those are the people who hear about your new vision for your life that you want to change. And they mock you, doubt you, question your every move. They say shit like, shouldn't you be more realistic? Oh, you need to tone it down. Don't get your hopes up. They insult your decisions like it's up for public vote. And then you have the people on the other side of your journey. I like to call them the aftermath crew, the ones who watch you take on this new vision for your life. And they're sitting up there in the cheap seats, ultra skeptical, eating their popcorn, waiting for the shitstorm to fly at your face so they can watch you give up. But instead, they watched you bleed for it. They watched you stay consistent. They watched your name go from the biggest punchline to proof of results. And then they come to the conclusion that you're actually not that fucking delusional. And that's when they start clapping. Oh, yes. The aftermath crew, who now gives you their applause. Why? Because results silence the doubters, because progress is louder than opinions, because success rewires perception. And this is the neurobiology behind what I'm talking about. When you start showing up for yourself consistently with the right behaviors in the right direction, your brain starts reorganizing itself. Your neuronal pathways start firing on a different frequency. You stop wishing for outcomes to go in your favor and start expecting them to work in your favor. You literally start becoming somebody nobody recognizes anymore, not just to the world, but to you. And that is what builds self-respect, the kind that can't be taken away. because it's built on proof, not praise. And when you start showing people the receipts from your work, the proof of results, those same asshats that doubted you now start saying shit like, hey, I always knew you could do it. No, they didn't. But your results spoke volumes, and results don't lie. Now, let me take you back to a time in my personal life when this shit happened to me, and let me tell you what I did next. I am a 2-time college dropout. That's right, not once, but motherfucking twice. I had every reason to fold, every excuse to tap out, but instead of playing the victim card, like half the population seems to do these days, I made a decision. I was about 25 years old when I looked around at my life and said, this can't be all there is. So there I was. I'm standing alone in my apartment living room and made the decision to go back to college. Nobody showed up at my door with some sort of lucky break, to be clear. Just me and a quiet promise to myself that I wasn't going to live inside the confines of mediocrity any longer. I was going to move the fuck onward. And because I had a track record of not taking life seriously, let me tell you what happened next. I'd been out of high school for more than just a hot minute, right? It was several years. So because it had been several years, I was required to take the college placement exam. And guess what? My scores got me invited to test into the honors program, which I did and was accepted and flourished inside that program. And suddenly, those asshats in my life started looking at me different. The same people who used to say, I don't think you should go back to college. It didn't work out for you before. What makes you think it's going to work out now? You're not serious, are you? You're just going to quit on yourself again. You're probably not even going to finish. Just go get a regular job like the rest of us. You know, the usual chorus of mediocrity. Those people were suddenly changing their perspective. But they didn't change their perspective about me because I asked them to. It was because I showed them what results look like when you engage consistently in the right behaviors, even when it fucking hurts. I was working full-time, exercising every single day, studying full-time, single mother full-time, late nights, early mornings, shedding tears, tired all the fucking time, frustrated, stressed, loneliness like I'd never known, all of it, the entire spectrum of shit. But as the semesters went by, I didn't quit. And because I didn't quit, I rewired my brain to keep showing the fuck up. I started creating a zero deviation mentality, and took me, by the way, 5 years to earn a 4-year degree. That's what I need you to understand. When you act in alignment with who you say you want to become, even when you're exhausted, even when everything hurts, your brain starts building new circuitry, a zero deviation mindset. This isn't a personality trait, it's a neurochemical consequence of behavior when you show up consistently for yourself. And as I stacked wins, the conversations shifted from, hey, why don't you just go get a regular job like the rest of us, to, hey, when are you graduating? What do you have coming up next? Have you ever thought about grad school? I am so proud of you. I always believed in you. Or my favorite one, hey, I've been thinking about going back to school. Can I ask your advice? And that's the power of proof. That's the power of results. That's the power of doing the work to build a brain that bends in your favor. Because once you change how you show up in the world, the same people who told you to keep working your piss poor job that you hate and live your shitty ass life will start asking you how you did it. Repetition of action that aligns with who you say you want to become leads to progress and results that are undeniable. In fact, those kinds of results are going to force people to reevaluate you. Now, let me fast forward the story of my personal life a little bit, because if you think people threw shade at me for going back to college, imagine the fucking reaction when I said, hey, everybody, I'm going to go do a cannonball off the high dive and I'm going to start my own company. Holy shit. It was worse. People laughed at me out loud, like right into my face. Motherfuckers still do. They didn't understand why I would risk stability, why I would be so selfish, people called it, why I would trade a steady paycheck for a shot in the dark. But what they couldn't see, what they still can't see, is that their fear isn't fact. It's indoctrination. Most people aren't wired to think bigger for their own life. Their brain has been inculcated by the social media gurus to place self-imposed limitations on their own life, to prioritize safety over expansion, to believe it's bad to be an outlier. They're told, hey, do everything you can to fit in, or just be grateful that you have a job. And these are people who lie in bed at night dreaming and wishing and fantasizing and mentally masturbating about a different life, a life where they're chasing their most ambitious desires. Yet, when they think about chasing something massive, their internal system floods with fear and shuts down the dream before it even fucking starts. And they spend the rest of their lives convincing themselves that they are incapable of doing anything other than what they're doing right now. And that's why you make them uncomfortable. That's why people doubt you. That's why they try to talk you out of doing the big, massive things in your life. This is exactly why you cannot expect people to understand why it is you want to experience and expand upon a new vision of your life. Because your desire to expand exposes their decision to shrink and play small in their own life. And if you get to this piece of your journey, which you will, and going through this piece is going to be really hard. I know this comes with the territory of having your feelings hurt by those, by the way, who are usually the closest to us, those who love us the most. Those are the people who try to talk us out of our dreams because they think they're protecting you. They believe they understand your limitations, and they don't. They're projecting their own unprocessed failures onto your potential. And if you don't learn to be okay with these people, especially the ones closest to you, not understanding your vision, not believing in the results you want for your life, you will never build your journey of overcoming. You will never build your ultimate life. You will never build anything extraordinary. You will crumble underneath their concerns and surrender to confines of mediocrity and live with regret until you die. But if you want to do something great with your life, if you want to build your journey of overcoming, if you want to build something extraordinary, you have to stop letting the mediocre asshats who live mediocre asshat lives talk you out of doing the uncommon work. And because of this, the asshats are gonna hate you. They're gonna talk shit behind your back. They're gonna criticize your intellect. They're gonna discourage you from doing anything great. And it's not because they hate you. It's because your ambition and your fire and your desire for more success serves as a constant reminder that they never lit their own fire nor chased their most ambitious desires. These people don't understand anything other than the confines of mediocrity. So stop giving a shit about what these asshats think, and for the love of results, stop thinking you need permission to level the fuck up. Stop focusing on your fears. Stop focusing on what-if doomsday scenarios and the motherfucking haters in your periphery, and start focusing on the steps that you can take today. It is all about the action you take. Mediocre minds don't believe in massive results until you give these people something massive that actually exists. So you're either going to start building some proof, or you're going to become another one of the big talker wannabes who gives up at mile marker 1.5. Is that you? Are you giving up at mile marker 1.5? No. And let me tell you something. If you're listening to this right now and you're somebody who's got even an ounce of desire to do more with your life, to go bigger, to go harder, to stop pretending that you're okay, settling for being just fine all the time, then I already know something about you. I know your aftermath results. I can see them. I know you're already a success story because I know you're going to take those steps forward, do a cannonball off the high dive, and invest in yourself differently than you ever have before. You are not average. You are not mediocre. You are not one of the cowards waiting for others to validate their potential. You are extraordinary. You're an outlier. You're a misfit. You're one of the few who can see the aftermath of your own results before they even exist. You're one of the rare ones who champions the dream before the win. You don't need permission to go all in. You just need proof that you can survive the storm. And that proof? You're going to go build it behind closed doors by doing the work that nobody sees or claps for. That's called vision. That's called ownership. That's called building a brain that bends in your favor and screams, I fucking told you so. So when the pushback comes, and it will come, instead of listening to all the negativity from the people who love you so deeply and crying your eyes into your pillow at night because some social media guru told you that your ambition isn't normal, and lying there, folding into your excuses, inventing your own resistance, and convincing yourself that you can't, instead of doing that, I want you to look all those doubters in the eye, and I want you to get used to saying, like, fuck yeah, I am crazy, bitches. You're right, I am insane. Watch what's about to happen next. Watch this. And when everybody looks at you like you've lost your damn mind, congratulations. You've just passed through the first rite of passage of doing something extraordinary. You're officially in the resistance phase. This is the phase that's fierce as fuck, by the way. This is the beginning that's gonna test your willpower. This is where you have more hate than love. This is what it feels like when you threaten the confines of mediocrity from everyone around you. This is the pressure point where everybody else who's chasing their ambition taps out. But that's also the pressure point that starts to build a brain that bends in your favor. And let me break that down for you further. Every time you take action against the confines of mediocrity, especially when it's hard, especially when it's uncomfortable, and most certainly when it's isolating, you're rewiring your brain. You're reinforcing a new identity of self, and you're building the thought patterns that say, I'm the type of person who follows through. I do the hard shit on repeat, and your brain starts to believe it because you've built the proof. But here's the flip side. Here's your warning. Every time you hesitate, every time you collapse under the pressure, every time you quit early, you're teaching your brain something too. You are wiring in fragility. You are reinforcing avoidance patterns. You're making it harder for your future self to believe you're capable of anything other than living with the regret of mediocrity. So don't sit there and talk to me about your affirmations or alignment until you've shown me how many fucking days in a row you've executed when it sucked ass, because that's where neurodominance is built. That's where champions separate themselves from everybody else. This is where you become mentally unfuckwithable. It was no different for me, by the way, or different for any high performance mindset individual that you look up to, or any elite performance athlete, and it's not going to be different for you or anyone else who steps outside the confines of mediocrity and into success. That resistance, that pushback, it's universal. It's part of the climb. The separator is not genetics, it's not luck, it's not privilege, it's this. People who build a brain that bends in their favor understand that when shit flies at your face in the form of finger pointing and jealousy and envy and shit talk and pure bitterness, that at the end of the day, the neurodominant people are willing to keep moving through emotional bloodbaths, physical exhaustion, and every opinion that came flying at their throat by the people who gave up on their lives long ago. The neurodominant people are the ones who are still standing, and that neurodominant person is you. You have to learn how to become obsessed with the process, not the praise. Because when the noise fades in the background and the lights go out, it's not going to be your doubters, it's not going to be your haters or your social media followers or your family tucking you into bed at night. It's just you and the brutal reality of whether or not you executed today. You have a new drive for your life. You have a new vision. Let that be enough, so long as your actions match your ambition. And when you get punched in the teeth, get back up, spit the blood out, and continue to put one foot in front of the other. And when you do this for long enough, you're going to be the last one standing. And I promise you, the last one standing is the tallest in the room. And when you're the tallest one in the room, you're not going to be standing there holding on to affirmations or rose-scented bubble baths or somebody's podcast telling you it's okay not to be okay and to love yourself. It's going to be the clarity that those who wanted to whisper negative nothings in your ear didn't affect any of your outcomes today. What's going to affect your outcomes is you and whether or not you executed against clear, concise targets, period, so long as you don't quit. Outcomes don't care about what you intended. They only care about what you did. Outcomes only show up for those who show the fuck up for themselves. So let the other guy quit. Fuck that guy. Let him spiral in self-doubt. Let him romanticize rock bottom. Let him talk about his dreams over drinks at the bar while you build yours in the fucking dark. Because if you execute day after day, week after week, quarter after quarter, even if it takes years, the people who once laughed their asses off at you will line up to ask how you did it. So you gotta stop listening to your mom, stop listening to your priest, stop listening to your best friend from the second grade, your old college roommate, or anybody who still lives inside their glory days from 2003. None of them are qualified to weigh in on your journey. The point of this entire podcast, not just this episode, but my entire podcast, is to help course correct what's happened to our society at large with the Care Bear motherfuckers encouraging you to give up on your dreams and how we should all just go back to being miserable, lazy pieces of shit because the secret sauce is nowhere to be found. Guys, the secret sauce is right here. It lies in the work. It rests inside the action you take. Your emotions are irrelevant to your success. And if you cut corners, take the easy path, and continue to be a lazy piece of shit, you should expect nothing more than what you're experiencing right now. And by the way, it's only going to get worse for you. But if you're somebody who wants to be more and do more with your life, somebody who wants to stop playing small, then use this information like rocket fuel. Go do the work behind closed doors that makes you feel like an outsider in your own skin. That's the fucking path. The world doesn't need more self-doubting, Care Bear motherfuckers whining into their safe space of dystopian ignorance. We need more builders, more leaders of self, more people who are willing to bleed in the arena and come back for more. So start where you are, use what you got, and drop the fucking excuses. Expect the frustration. Expect it to suck. Expect to feel out of sorts when you take new action steps in your life. Expect to be called difficult or intense or an outcast. This road that you're on, this journey that you're going to embark on, you are going to do this alone. There's no inspiration fairy dust. There's no cheerleaders ready to pop in on any given moment of the day to rah-rah you back to a motivational mindset. You aren't going to have anyone pulling you through the shit. You're going to have to pull yourself through the shit and keep moving forward alone. And on the days when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders and you want to give up on yourself and you're seconds from tapping out, I want you to hear my voice loud and clear. You were built for this shit. Go lean into the resistance, get your ass beat by your journey, go crank out results, go stomp on any motherfucker who tries to break you. And when the path splits, take the one that fucks you up the most and leave your claw marks all over it. Spit in the face of mediocrity and go build a life so savage, so dominant, so undeniable that those same motherfuckers who laughed at you have no choice but to choke when they say your fucking name.
This has been the Erin Marie Podcast. So many people walking around out there are professional victims and complainers, and we ain't having it. If you agree and you've gotten something from the show, make sure to like, rate, and review. Remember, stay off your ass, no excuses, and never settle for mediocrity. Catch you next time on the Erin Marie Podcast.